What is up, AP Lang? So tonight we're going to be talking about rhetorical analysis, which we're really getting into. It's definitely a big step forward from what we did just with the argument. So now what we're doing is we're evaluating the persuasiveness and the devices that other writers use. And so one of the things we started out this unit by looking at is Christensen's Rhetoric. And basically that involves levels of generality. And we started with just how it works in terms of writing itself. That in every sentence you can have a level one approach, which is just simply the clause, right? So I went to the carnival. That's level one. I mean, it's pretty basic. It tells you what the subject of the sentence is. I went to the carnival. It becomes level two when you add information. I went to the zoo, and there were amazing lions, tigers, and bears, right? So level two becomes that second part of the sentence because it describes what you saw. It's an amplifier or a modifier, right? So it amplifies the situation. Now, if I added information about those lions, tigers, and bears after that statement, and it was all part of the same sentence, it would become level three because now it's describing the lions, tigers, and bears. It moves away from the original clause of I went to the zoo or I went to the carnival. And so that's just good. I mean, basically we did that because I want to encourage you to expand your ideas and add detail and explanation. So we kind of took a look at that and we paired it up with the literary seismograph, in which we took statements from the opening chapter of The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace, which I still need you guys to get books. I ordered about 5 copies and I ran out of them, including my own copy today. So make sure you get your copy of The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace. But we sort of graphed them and created these triangles on a scale of 1 to 5, how much impact the statement had. And when we did that, what we did is we put the statement on the side, and then we said, based on the information on the right side, what inferences could we make? Okay, so why is that statement important? Well, because it leads to further thinking. It might lead to further questions, which is good too. So we kind of did that, and then on the bottom we took a look at like what device would fall underneath of it. Is it foreshadowing? Is it some sort of figurative language like a metaphor? Okay, and so we kind of graphed I think 6 sentences from that opening chapter, and you want to almost get into a habit of doing this for your own writing. Like how impactful is it? What inferences can the reader make from this in my own writing? And am I using any devices in the argument or in my own writing? So that's important. So what we did today and what A-Day will do tomorrow is we continued with Christensen's Rhetoric and the levels of generality. And instead of using, clause and modifiers, what we did is we used claims, evidence, and commentary. So the claim is your level one, right? And then when they provide an example or evidence to support that claim, that becomes level two. Now, when they go on and explain, or provide commentary as to why that example supports the claim, that becomes level three. Now, within a paragraph or with a claim, you can have multiple level twos and then level threes, and it kind of like cascades underneath. And that's up on the board, and we kind of went through it today as well. So we did that when you're going to do it tomorrow, I should say, 8A kids, with Washington's farewell address, which is cool because I think some of you guys have had exposure to it in dual U.S. Or even regular U.S. history this year. So hopefully there's some familiarity there. So that's kind of what we're talking about. And every time we do this, you have the Rhetorical Handbook. It's on the website. As we evaluate whether we're looking at levels of generality now, doing the claims, evidence, commentary, whether I'm just sort of throwing a quick right at you like I did today with the advice column from the Washington Post, you need to break out that handbook. I mean, the more you sort of review it, use that handbook as a tool. You can almost go through that handbook and go, yep, that's in there. Nope, 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 nope. Yep, I see that in there. And as long as you can explain it or provide some evidence of your own, as to why they use that, you're good to go. And hopefully some of them will become second nature. Some of them you'll see more of just because they're more readily available in the writer's toolbox. So that's kind of what we're doing. You can expect us to do a little bit more practice with that this week in terms of Wednesday and Thursday. And then we're going to get into some time rights Friday and Monday, like a release. We're going to do the release 2018 analysis, rhetorical analysis prompt. So we'll just continue with it. This is definitely going to take us through the bulk of this marking period. I think it's important because it really builds into the synthesis. And then, we'll really work third marking period on the synthesis. And then we'll start, as marking period 4 begins, we'll double back on some of the argument stuff, work on the multiple choice, review also the rhetorical analysis, and continue to work on synthesis. So there's a method to the madness. It's a lot of practice. It's looking at tons of examples, but all really positive examples, things that, really set the mark for where your own writing should be. So that's where we're at. If you have any questions, come see me. I know this is difficult, and we're kind of diving deeper. But like I said at the beginning of the year, we got to get off the diving board, get off the bounce. And the deeper you go, the better your own writing will be. Continue to read as much nonfiction as possible. I'll continue throwing it at you in class. Have a great night.